guys, welcome back to another colorful keto with Dory. So I'm running a minute late and I realized my other phone for music is dead. So sadly, we don't get any music tonight. But we are getting together with Robyn Davis. So let's get her in. I'm super excited. We're going to talk about why you might not be losing weight on a keto diet. And I'm super excited. I think that this is a hot topic almost every week. In almost every group. Hello! Oh, yay, we have sound today. Okay, let me adjust this one a little bit. Our Facebook is kind of like all up right in the Instagram face. Let me just adjust it a little. Ah, there we go. That's a little better. It's like, whoa, are you ever all up in my face? So, do you need a moment to share it to our groups while I'm explaining to people what we're going to talk about?
Yep, let me get on that.
Yay. Okay, so I know you and I didn't technically discuss what we were going to talk about today, but what's been on my mind is when everybody messages and says, I'm doing all the things right, how come I'm not losing weight on keto? I'm doing all the things, keto doesn't work. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about more than just why I'm not losing weight, but I want to talk about weight loss expectations. What's a reasonable goal? What's a reasonable expectation of amount of weight to lose? Is it the same for everybody? If you start tomorrow, are you going to lose like 20 pounds by next week? I want to talk about that because later tonight, after we're done here, I don't know, none of you have seen this from me, but I think I'm fixing to go on a rant.
Like after this, because I want to stay for it.
Yeah, after this, when I go live with Spirit Warrior Wendy, because she came across this really awesome article that says keto shortcuts, how to lose 17 pounds every week. Dory's going on a rant, girl. I am fixing to get fixing. What? And then I wonder why people message and say, oh, I've been eating healthy for 3 days and I haven't lost any weight. What's wrong?
I'm stalled.
I've stalled. I've been eating healthy for like 2 weeks and I'm in a stall. So this is what I want to talk about tonight. First of all, let's start with, is keto a fad diet? Like, is this the next best thing we're going to do, Robyn, that we're going to lose 30 pounds in 7 days?
Well, it was the first best thing, and it's probably the next best thing. The whole fad diet thing. There's been this really big experiment out there. It's gone on for a couple 100,000 years or more, and you know what? If it didn't work, we wouldn't be talking right now because we wouldn't be here.
I love that. Are we going to play the back in the day game? You know, what people would have eaten back in the day.
Only old people talk like back in the day.
Okay. You know what?
You and I don't remember a time when people actually ate right. Some people in our groups may remember like from their parents, but I know we don't. I mean, I do remember the can of bacon grease on the stove and that my dad would never, he always liked real butter, but I think my mom always chastised him because it was bad for him. But it really wasn't. And, it wasn't until the 50s when processed food started coming out and replacing real food.
Well, and I think those were the only holdouts at my house too, was real bacon grease and real butter, which I won't lie. Okay, get ready to gasp at me. I never really liked butter. I was a margarine girl because I liked the taste of it. And even when people are like, that's all chemicals and it was made to fatten chickens, I was like, shut up your face. I like it. Now I don't eat it. But back in the day, even when I was a kid, there was butter in the house, but I would never eat it. I would only ever eat the margarine. But I think those were kind of the only holdouts. And we always had fruit and vegetables in our house. There was always some sort of fruit and vegetables. But we grew up poor, so staples in the house were things like, the giant pot of macaroni with the can of tomatoes, and if you were really lucky, you got some ground meat in there.
I remember ours was, and everything in our house was always low fat and no fat.
Yes, and you know what? I did that too. Everything. I literally think everything I owned was low fat, no fat, reduced fat, you know, like take the fat and fly it away. Do you remember when they used to sell those fat blocker pills?
Ally?
Yes, see, you took everything. I knew you would remember. Yeah, and you were supposed to be able to take them, and they just would, like, suck all the fat out of your body, and they left you the really awesome greasy toilet?
Orange. It was orange, yeah. I remember. Done it.
Done it. Been there, done that, wore that failure t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So,
hey,
let's talk...
At least I can say I did it.
Right?
All these things that want to try, I can tell you from personal experience. I'm not guessing, it's not anecdotal. I did it. I've done it all.
I love it. So let's start with, I kind of want to go, where is a reasonable goal? Because I'm sure you're not very different from me, and I've had people message me and they'll say this, you know what, Dory, I'm really dedicated, I'm really focused, I have a very realistic goal, I think I've got, you know, I don't think I'm over aiming, I don't want my goals to be too high, I want this to be realistic, I plan to lose 20 pounds a week.
20 pounds a week?
And I was like, oh, wow, that's really realistic.
But you know what, though? I get why they're saying it. First of all, if I can, the number, you know, before we talk about when people say, well, why aren't I losing weight? The number one thing I always say is, first of all, if you're comparing yourself to anybody else, you just need to stop right now. That's the biggest thing. And, you know, the reason I say I get why people want to lose 20 pounds a week, because we read posts, we all do, in different groups on Facebook. I started a week ago, I'm down 12 pounds, 15 pounds. Y'all, I promise you, for every person that happens to, and it does, there's 500 people that it didn't. They're just not talking about it. So if you feel like you're the only one not losing weight or not losing as fast as you think you should, I promise you, you're not. I mean, you're the people that lose double digits in a week are way in the minority, and that is the truth.
Well, and you know what? Nothing against being able to lose that kind of weight, because hallelujah, it's beautiful. But if you're losing that much weight, chances are it's inflammation and it's water weight. So, and again, not to discount the number on the scale, because losing weight is losing weight all day long, girl. That's a victory. But
the water weight has to go first. And I love this when people talk about keto. Oh, all those big weight losses, all those big numbers in the beginning, it's all water weight. Dude, it's water weight no matter what diet you're on. You always lose water weight first. It's still weight. It needs to go. So, yeah, it's water weight, but it needs to go. So these people that say it's all water weight on keto, and?
Yeah, and any other way you're going to lose weight ever in the history of losing weight ever?
So, how much can you expect to lose? The answer to that is stop expecting to lose anything. Doesn't mean you're not going to lose anything. But when people talk about goals, and I learned this the hard way, we all have a goal. I get it. I want to lose, you know, I think 1.5 to, and I'm just saying this, making it up, I think 1.5 to 2 pounds a week is a healthy weight loss. Okay. It's not up to you. It's up to your body. It's up to your sickness. It's up to your I know, I'm just going to tell the truth tonight. Because I learned it the hard way. I had a goal in mind.
I love it.
I had a different goal for me.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. And you know what? 2 years later, I haven't had to diet since.
Yes.
So, how much can you expect to lose? I have no idea. And you don't either. If you follow it, it's going to work. And I think y'all know this about me and about Dory. We didn't lose weight in the beginning.
No.
It was depressing, wasn't it?
It was. And you know what? Here's the thing, though. I think for me, it wasn't all that depressing for one reason and one reason only. For the first time ever in my whole life, I decided this wasn't a diet. I was making a healthy choice for me. Lose weight or not, it seemed to make sense. I was just going to do it. So to be honest with you, I think it's the first time I ever went into anything without, and I don't want to say without a weight goal, because yeah, I wanted to lose 20 pounds. But the weight goal was here, And just deciding to do it was here. And that's the first time I ever did that. Like, ever have I never been focused on the scale ever. And I think that's the only way I got through it. Because if I had come in thinking, okay, I've got a time limit to lose this 20 pounds I want to lose, girl, I would have given up. Because it was 6 months before I lost any weight. But I also was doing everything under the sun wrong. Like,
me too.
Everything.
Hey,
oh, God.
Enough for both of us. So if you weren't depressed, I was, because I didn't start this to get healthier. Screw that.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
I want to look good in jeans.
You know.
Screw healthy.
I stayed because of that.
Yes.
But that's not what started it. I'm just being honest here. I was depressed enough for the both of us, and I didn't lose weight for 6 months either. So.
Well, and I kind of thought, well, you know, it is what it is, you know, losing weight or not. I will say, I didn't realize it was going to happen because you and I, Robyn, are the exact opposite. I researched nothing. You researched everything. I watched one video and went, oh, that's cool. That makes sense. I'll start looking up low-carb recipes. And I knew nothing. Like, I didn't research it. I didn't know that a lot of the symptoms I was having were going to disappear. I just woke up one day and I went, here's a thought. When was the last day I had a really bad migraine? It's been a while. Hey, when was the last night I laid in bed for 2 hours with my brain spinning and I couldn't sleep? Hey, it's been a while. When was the last time I couldn't get out of bed because I was too miserable to get out of bed? Wow, that's been a while too. When was the last time I had this much energy? Never in my whole life. And it dawned on me one day, and it was funny because somebody was talking about the benefits of a ketogenic diet, and I saw something and I was like, oh, tick, 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 oh my God, yay, oh my God, good stuff. But I didn't even know the good stuff was coming. Like, I had no idea. I didn't even know. It was like the best Christmas in July present ever. Because I had no idea that good things were even going to happen. I just decided, hey, that makes sense. Sure, why not? I'll eat healthy. I wasn't planning on sticking to it. Let's be honest for 2 seconds. I was going to do that for like a couple of weeks until I got bored.
And what, 2 years later, here you are.
Year and a half? Yeah. I never got bored. I never got bored. Like, in the beginning, I mourned all the foods I couldn't have. And then after I made all of those foods and more, and I laughed at the time I wasted mourning foods. Because here's the funny, I don't really miss those foods anymore. When I see them, I think, oh, I'm going to make me a version of that when I get home. Or I think, oh, you know what, I remember how that used to taste, and I miss how it used to taste. But I also realize it doesn't taste like that anymore. My taste buds have changed. I'm not sugar tolerant anymore. If I decide, oh, I can have a Whopper or two, it ain't going to hurt me none, I'm instantly sick.
Yeah, and the times that I've done it too, like, it doesn't taste as good as I remember.
No.
And it certainly wasn't worth it because sick. It definitely wasn't worth it. And I experienced all the things you did, but I don't think I realized it until later, until like after the weight started coming off. It was like, wait a minute. Okay, so this is working. Oh, and I haven't had a flare-up in a long time. I haven't had a migraine in a long time. And all of a sudden, I just didn't eat the way I used to anymore. That was huge. Like, you mourn the foods that you couldn't have. I didn't eat anything. Except
I was starving myself.
I was eating a lot. I didn't have time to mourn foods because I was actually eating on keto.
Well, and that's the beauty, right? Because we have always equated diet success with starvation and suffering. You cannot lose weight if you're not starving, if you're not suffering. And I know on the standard, and I'm going to call it the standard American diet, because, the one that we thought was the diet version, where everybody tells you things like, popcorn is the free diet snack with no butter, of course, plain popcorn. You can have as much of that as you want. Fill up on things like rice and grains because they They expand in your stomach. They make you feel full longer. Make sure that you're having, you know, a large portion of, and my doctor always told me all the really good vitamin root vegetables. Make sure I'm getting a good healthy double serving of, you know, my potatoes, my turnips, my carrot, all the really good vitamin root vegetables, and make sure everything's low fat. And, you know, drink a glass of water before every meal, because clearly you don't have any self-control, Dory, over eating. So please fill up on a glass of water first. And every time I went to the doctor and he would take out his chart and he would go, oh, I see we didn't listen again. And I'd be like, but I did.
Never thought that maybe the advice he was giving wasn't correct.
Not until I found keto totally by accident. And then I was like, what? I went on a I wasn't wrong rant. I ran around my house and I was like, see, it wasn't me. I'm not a failure. I went on like a big I'm not a failure. It wasn't me rant. And I ran around my house like a crazy lady and I celebrated, because you know what? Every time I failed, and every time a doctor, a friend, an ex-boyfriend, whoever, stranger walking down the street pointed out I was fat, I failed again. So to know that it wasn't that I failed, I just had the wrong information, I felt like somebody let me out of jail and I could run to the mountaintop and sing the I Wasn't Wrong song.
Yeah. And it wasn't us that failed. It was, and there's nobody out there who failed because he followed doctor's advice. It was the diets that failed us. The advice failed us. I had to work the diets that failed us, but what we were told was just wrong.
Well, and that's the hard pill to swallow, right? Like, when you're like, love you, everything you've known your whole life. And in the beginning, as I started to learn things, I think I kind of went through anger phases where I was like, what? 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 Are you kidding me right now?
This before. My life would have been a whole lot happier. But you know what? They don't know, or don't care to know, or don't want to take the time to know. But I'm going with people just don't know, and nobody's going to go. Nobody with any financial backing is going to put the word out there. So it's up to us. That's why we're always asking you to share this stuff, not because Dory gets. You don't get 10 cents for every share, do you? Because I know I don't, and I don't care. I want. This is the only way people are going to know.
Well, and that's the bottom line, because if you think that the food industry is looking out for our best interest, if you think buyers for stores are out scouring for the newest, best, healthiest products, they're not. They're looking for cheap and easy. They want the cheapest products that they can sell for the largest amount of money. And as long as we keep buying the junk that's available, guess what? They don't have to go out and source out anything else. The day that we go, and I know it's brazen, I know it is, but you know what? The day that we go to our stores and we say, you know what? I love spending my money here. I've been shopping here for 20 years. My mama shopped here. I love it here. But until you start bringing products that reflect my take on health, I'm going to have to stop shopping here. I'd love to bring you my money back. You let me know when you start bringing in good quality clean products and I'll be back in a heartbeat. And think about how quick they'll run if we stop buying that until we get something better. And some things we can't go without. Some things we can buy online. We might have to pay a bit more. We might have to make it at home. But until we stop buying what's available, there is no pressure for them to find us something better. Better isn't cheaper. Better is never cheaper.
I used to spend, but even, with keto, I used to spend at the store easily $200-300 a week on groceries. Now, I go to the store every 10 days and I spend like $60 maybe, and that includes toilet paper and Kleenex. I mean, that's not even just food. I buy very little at the store anymore.
Our bills have gone down too in the long run. Like, if you're really stressing out and thinking about how expensive it's going to be, there is a trade-off. Like, for example, heavy whipping cream is expensive, but you can save that money on milk. Butter is expensive, but you're not buying potato chips. You're going to be looking at things like Nut flour can be pricey. You can buy whole nuts instead. You don't have to have all the things to start. That's the one thing I want people to know. You don't have to have all the things. You need meat, vegetables, one good oil. You don't have to have them all. Pick one oil, buy one. You need one kind of nut, and you can start. That's it. You need eggs, you need cheese, you need meat, you need vegetables. Pick one kind of nut and go from there and build your collection as you go. All of my beautiful canisters that you guys always see originally started with only 2 of these. When I started, I bought almond flour and coconut flour, and I ran out and I bought myself canisters, and I was so proud of my brand new keto life. And as I bought new ingredients, I went to the Dollarama and I picked up another container. And it has grown to cover the entire corner of my kitchen, but I didn't have it all at once. I didn't spend it all at once. You know, spend $20 a paycheck and buy one awesome keto ingredient and build your collection, because this stuff lasts forever.
A long time. And I was the opposite. I just noticed lately that I stopped doing it. Every time I see something new, I gotta go get it. Well, what did I end up with is a cabinet and pantry full of stuff that I don't use. I use the same thing, and we don't eat much anymore, so everything lasts a long time. So don't be me. Don't waste all your money. I got so many unopened things that I will just never use.
And you know what? I lucked out. There were very few things I bought that I didn't use. One item I bought that my family used and I didn't, that I bought by mistake, was in the very beginning when I did my research, and I was super excited about how awesome organic coconut sugar would be, because it's, you know, better than sugar, and I didn't realize it was still sugar because I was very new, and I was like, it's coconut and it's organic, so it's got to be good for you. It's 4 grams of sugar per tablespoon instead of 16. It's got to be awesome. That's great, right? It looks like brown sugar. It's got less sugar in it. It's natural sugar. I went to the keto group and I was like, oh my God, look how awesome I am. And they were like, you're stupid. And I was like, no, I think you're spelling awesome wrong. I think you're spelling awesome wrong. Autocorrect. Ha!
Look how stupid I am. No, and that's, everybody does it. Everybody does it.
Oh.
In the beginning, cooking these low-carb recipes, but not really looking at them, thinking that if it said low-carb or keto, more specifically, then it must be. And yeah, you know what? I made some things with coconut sugar in the beginning before it dawned on me, before I learned, wait a minute, that's not a keto recipe. Just because it says it in the name doesn't mean it's true. Which could be one of the reasons that I know we're supposed to be talking about why we're not losing weight. We digress.
We'll get back round.
But one of the reasons I didn't in the beginning, and I don't think this is the number one reason, maybe people aren't losing weight, but since we were talking about it, make it, trusting, I would say don't trust anybody but yourself when it comes to yourself.
Yes.
And I've got keto cookbooks, one of those shelves behind me, tons of keto cookbooks, and I've flipped through, and most of them, they're not all keto. They're really not. So you really need to look at what you're eating.
Blaine says just eat more bacon, and I go team eat more bacon. Yay! Go team eat more bacon.
Bacon is a good thing. Bacon and eggs cooked in butter or bacon grease. That's like the perfect keto ratio. You can eat bacon and eggs every day for the rest of your life. You'll be fine.
And I'm going to tell you a secret. When I first started keto, I really missed ketchup on my eggs. I don't even know why I really liked ketchup on my eggs anymore, to be honest with you, but I really did. And I was missing that because I didn't have a good sugar-free ketchup alternative. I didn't even want to get into it. But Nancy told me, take a little bit of butter and put it on your egg. And I was like, ew. And then I did it and I was like, oh my God, I'm reformed. I don't even know why. A teeny little bit of butter on your cooked egg to melt on it tastes like heaven on an egg, but it does. If you've never done it, I don't even care if you're like, ooh, Dory, that's gross. Trust me and just do it next time, because it is like mother good. Like,
I put the butter in the pan, fry the egg if I'm doing fried eggs or an omelet or whatever. And of course, you've got some butter left in the pan.
Oh, pour that on.
I am not wasting butter.
So we did kind of touch on more fats. Now, for me, that's usually my number one guess if somebody says to me, hey, Dory, I'm not losing weight. And the reason why not enough fat is my first guess is because I won't lie, I was fat resistant. I had all the brain programming, low fat, low fat, low fat. Fat's going to kill you. Fat is bad. So when I started, I know I certainly was not eating enough fat. Now, the first question I'll ask them is, you know, what are you eating? And they'll say, oh, you know, I'm having a piece of steak and some broccoli and a side salad. And I'll say, okay, what fat are you putting on it? And they're like, what now? And I'm like, okay, so you need to add a fat to your vegetable, add a fat to your meat, put olive oil on your salad. Every dish you have on your plate should have a little extra added fat on it to make sure you're getting enough fat. And they're like, oh, but I bought a fatty steak and I'm eating a plain garden salad with steamed broccoli. That's keto.
Yeah, and steamed broccoli and salad is great, but what you've got there is a plate of carbs.
Yes.
Or starch.
Starch.
If you cook the broccoli, you've got some starch.
Yes.
And, you know, I agree. The first thing when people come to me and say, I'm doing everything right, but I'm not losing weight, first thing I'm going to say is, first of all, how long has it been? And if you come back and say, I haven't lost weight for 3 days, I'm going to hang up on you. But if you're really not losing weight, the first thing is, what are you eating? And it's, you know, some of this and some of that. And, okay, are you logging your food? Ew, no. Well, I need you to do that for a couple of days. And I'm telling you, 95% of the time, it's right there. It's right there in what you're eating, and you just don't realize it. 95% of the time, it's right there.
Oh, my guy just brought in the batch of berries. Look at how big our homegrown berries have gotten the last final batch. They're like store-bought size almost. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited.
They look so much better. You can tell if it's in the store or from your backyard.
You can. You really can see the difference. They're not as red. They're not as deep a red, but I love this color.
Some are.
Some are really red. It depends on how ripe they get too, but I love the fresh berries from home. You can't beat that, that's for sure.
Different varieties.
Yeah, vegetables from the garden. But yeah, so number one is, what are you eating?
Yes.
And usually 95% of the time it's right there. And a lot of times what I find more often than not is that people aren't adding enough fat. So they're either eating too much protein or not enough fat, or both. And when I point out to people, you know, keto is a low-carb, high-fat diet, right? People say, yes, I know that.
I know that.
You're a low-carb, high-protein diet. So,
No, Robyn. I know I'm doing all the things right.
But no, you're not. And that's what we find out. And unfortunately, it drives me nuts when people say this, because I know you don't like the sciencey stuff, but seriously, y'all, open a science book. Dietary fat and body fat are not the same thing. So when people say you don't need to add fat because you've got enough on your body, they're different. They are different. And once people realize that, they just unfortunately have the same name. Once people realize, okay, I'm going to go ahead and eat that fat, 99.9% of the time, I get the call or I get the message, the scale moved. Yeah, I know.
I know.
You have to eat fat to burn fat. Now, there are other things, though. Again, too much protein.
Sneaky sugars and carbs. That's always my famous one. Because you know what? Think about the things you don't track. Like, think about the spices that you use. Do they have... Oh, I gotta show you this. Beauteous. The spices that you use, do they have sugar? Do they have carbs? Are you adding extra carbs in things like you're using sugar-free sweetener but not counting the carbs that are in that? So these little carbs add up over the course of a day, and you're like, well, I'm only eating 12 carbs, but if you count out all the little things you're not counting, you might be eating 30 or 40 carbs.
Right, and if you're trying to... You know, sometimes we kind of assume that people know this, but in the beginning they really don't. When we say 20 grams is your carb limit, if you don't have to come close to that, please don't. That's not a number you need to hit by any means. My carb goal is 0, and I usually come between 1 and 2.5. But the closer you get to your 20, if you're trying to eat 20 carbs or allowing yourself on purpose to eat 20, then all those sneaky ones. You know, there's carbs in garlic powder.
Yes.
If you're 20 grams and you're just, sprinkling some garlic powder in your recipe, you're fine. But if you're right at that 20 and you're not counting the carbs and vegetables and you're not counting the carbs in this and not counting the carbs, heavy whipping cream, guys, on the carton, it says 0. It ain't 0. It's 0.9.
Yeah.
Okay? They're allowed to say 0, but it's 0.9. So if you're having
3 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons a day,
whipping cream over the course of the day, you're upwards of 30, 40 carbs now, if on top of the 20 that you already had. So you gotta watch out for those things.
Well, and it's so easy to not realize how quickly they add up if you're not tracking everything. And you don't have to track. You know what? If you're starting and you're saying, you know what, I'm doing this to get healthy, I'll lose weight when I lose weight, then by all means, don't even bother to track. But if you have strict weight loss goals and you say, you know what, I want to lose this amount by this time, I want to learn what to do, you have to track. There's no way around that, because there isn't any way to help you if you don't know what you're eating. That's always
right.
Number one question. If somebody says, why aren't I losing weight? I don't care who you are, how you're going to help. The first question they're going to ask you is, what are you eating? Do you track your food?
And if you guess, the best we can do is guess. And that's not going to help you.
No.
So in the beginning. Now, other reasons that I see people don't lose weight, and I think these are really underestimated when it comes to this, stress. Y'all,
yes.
Stress in 2 ways. Number one, yes, it raises your cortisol, makes you more resistant to losing weight. But also, when we're stressed, most people, not all, most people tend to also eat more and not even realize what they're eating. So stress will get you in 2 ways. Lack of sleep. If you're not getting good sleep, that will also or could also deter weight loss. So those are the biggest things that I see, that the protein, not too much protein, not enough fat, sneaky carbs, and the stress and the sleep. Those are the big ones. If all those are good, and we do have some cases right now where, and I believe them, they've been doing it long enough, they've sent me food logs, they've done everything I've asked them to, they're still not losing weight. Then we go for the thyroid panel, or there could be an under medical issue, thyroid problems. That's a big one.
Yes. Medications, because now I've started asking people that immediately too. Do you take any medications? Because you know what, I would get all the way through a conversation to the bottom and then be like, oh, by the way, are you taking any? And they'd be like, oh yeah, I'm taking thyroid meds. Side effect is huge, egregious weight gain. But I'm not losing any weight. And I'm like, but you're not gaining any weight either. So if a side effect of a medication you're on is a huge weight gain and you're not losing any, but you're not gaining either, you're still winning too.
And I had to have this conversation with someone the other day. Well, it's not my fault. I'm taking, I think it was Lexapro, and it's just a side effect. That's true. It doesn't mean you can't do it. It means you just might need to work a little bit harder. The medication's not going to stop you from losing weight. It may make it harder, and that is unfair, but it's worth it.
On the benefit, though, as we get healthier, a lot of people are able to cycle off of those medications and then remove that roadblock. But again, keto is healthy with a side of weight loss. If you focus first always on the health benefits and being healthy, then you're not going to stress out about the scale as much. And you know what? It sounds crazy, but the minute you start stressing about the scale not moving, you're popping your cortisol through the roof, and guess what? You're guaranteeing the scale isn't going to move. If you're getting on that scale 3 times a day going, move, damn you, move.
Move the other way, move the other way.
The other way, then you're not, unfortunately. And it sounds harsh, but you know what? Toss your scale for a month. If you're really, really focused and you're stressing yourself out about weight loss, don't even look for a month. Tell yourself 1 month. Play hide and seek with your scale. Give it to your husband. Make him hide it. Tell your kids to bury it in the backyard for a month. But if you're really, really stressing about losing weight, number one, don't stress, because it's just not going to help. It's really not.
And nobody wants to hear this because it just sounds so cliche, like it's thrown out there all the time. You have to be healthy, lose weight, Who wants to hear that crap? I want to lose weight. But I promise you, and trust me, I didn't want to hear it either. And I didn't even believe it, by the way. But it is true. You know, keto it's not a weight loss diet. It is a health diet. But part of being healthy, a big part of being healthy, is being at an ideal weight, and your body wants to be there. You weren't born to be overweight. You weren't born to be addicted to food. That's not something that when you were born, it's like, now there are some genetics in play, but overall, when you were born, it wasn't like, okay, here's Dory, welcome to the world, Dory. You are just destined to be overweight. Or Robyn, you're destined to be overweight. Or this one's destined to be skinny. It doesn't work that way for the most part. So your body wants to be at a healthy weight. Get it healthy enough to lose weight, and then it'll be meaningful weight loss, and you will never have to go on another diet again. And that is my money back guarantee.
Oh, I love it. I think that's the best closing thought ever. So, do you have anything coming up the rest of the week that we need to watch for you, darling?
Well, tomorrow evening at 6 Central, we are live with Dr. Ken Berry in the Keto for Life group. So I've gotten some advanced questions. People aren't sure they can make it live, and we're going to catch them in replay. But definitely try to get us live. We're going to try to get all your, I've had to say a few times this week, sorry guys, that's above my pay grade. But we're going to ask Dr. Berry that.
We're going to ask Dr. Ken. I love it. Oh, you're frozen. Oh, there you're back.
Sorry. Random phone call. I can't see you. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you and I can see you.
Okay, I can't see you. But there's people asking questions this week. It's been a weird week. Of words, I don't even know what they mean. So we're going to leave that for Dr. Berry. And then Thursday we've got a story at 7 Central, like we always have. So I do just want to throw this out there real quick. Something's been on my mind that I didn't know what it was, like, for the last month or so. And I couldn't get out of my own way, and I'm like, there's something I'm supposed to be doing, and I didn't know what it was. I wasn't getting anything done. And I realized what it was today, with the abundance of messages that I've been getting about, emotional eating and trauma and stuff like that. So I created, and it's not secret, but I'm calling it an ultra private group, part of the Keto for Life. It's called Keto for Life Emotional Eating Support. It's really just going to be a very small group. Wicked privacy rules apply, but it's a safe place. So if anybody's struggling with that, none of us are psychiatrists or psychologists or therapists, but if you want to talk to people who have been where you are where you are, I just want to throw that out there. That's brand new today. We have like 20 members, but it's a very specialized thing. But I think it's needed. So do that out there.
You send me the subgroup link, and I'm in, because we need to talk about it. And the more we talk about it, I'm already in. Okay, good. It's because I'm awesome. Just gonna put that out there. So you have an amazing rest of your evening. Thank you so much, Robyn, for talking to us and for sharing what it's like to not lose weight, because it looks like everyone around us is doing it but us. And hold up your hand if you didn't lose weight right away, if you don't lose weight every week, if you don't get to tick off 1 pound off your calendar every day. Raise your hand.
And can I just say this to the people? One last thing before we go to the people that say, I only lost 2 pounds last month. I only lost 2 pounds last month. Okay, I get it. That's disappointing. But if you had gained 2 pounds, would you have said, I only gained 2 pounds? No, 2 pounds would have been a lot. If it's a lot to gain, y'all, it's a lot to lose. It's the same.
Oh, yes.
So
I love you. You're amazing, lady, as always. And I adore you. And, by the way, let's mention, this is our new format. We're going to do Mondays now instead of Wednesdays. Going forward, it's going to be 1 hour earlier than we started today, but this is our regular day now.
We are Mondays, starting the week off right.
Have a great night. Thanks so much, Robyn. Bye, hon. Okay, guys, so I have 15 minutes in between. I don't know if my hair is going to dry enough in between to curl it. Probably not. We're back in 15 minutes. We're going to hang out with Spirit Warrior Wendy. And like I warned you guys, I think I might be going on a little bit of a rant today. Wendy might have to rein me in. But I'll tell you what, the article she bought is something special. And we're going to chat about that in 15 minutes. See you soon, guys.